Tatum, how tired are you?
So incredibly tired.
I'm so tired too. But we are back.
There's a mindset.
Season 2, episode 2 of Between Two Barbells. We did not think we could make it. Let's be honest. We pre-gamed probably longer than what this episode's gonna be.
Hundo P.
Yeah. All right. I am Alex. That is Tatum. Together we are Primal Strength Between Two Barbells. She's also Stuck Less Apparel. Be sure to give us all a follow on all social medias that we are present on.
Nico.
And then there's Chico, our lovely co-star. But all right, today we got some topics. It's gonna kind of lead from one into another, but the biggest thing going on lately, this crazy gym is across my feed on the Instagrams and the YouTubes and the TikToks. It's Diamond Gym. Now, Tatum, you in our little pre-game chat, you haven't heard of this place, right?
No, so I looked it up during our little prep chat, and I've seen like a video here or there, but I have not looked into it at all, and I didn't know it was called Diamond's Gym. Like I am coming in with like basically nothing.
Yeah, so basically, I'm going to do my best to describe it. Obviously, I have never been there. I've never trained there. I've never met the people. They all seem like great people that genuinely just want to work hard,
Where is
but
it?
can be a little bit unnecessary.
Where is it?
I think it's in like Pennsylvania or Carolina, somewhere on the East Coast.
That's
So
awesome.
so you could probably drive there. um, but the mindset of this place is that you show up in a hoodie, you show up in sweats, no jewelry, just no bullshit, no distractions. That's going to be the theme of this. And it seems like every influencer or icon in strength sports is going to eventually find their way in this facility. But the team there that primarily you see on the videos, they have specific rules. You go in, you do your set. If you're caught talking unnecessarily, just talking about your day or whatever, you're either running or you're doing burpees or push-ups. Um, if let's see, if you're caught leaning, if you're caught sitting, caught drinking water, like anything like that during the workout, you're running, you're doing burpees, you're doing push-ups. Right. And like the machines there too are like this old school. I think some of them are even still chain driven, which is really awesome. But it's just that no bullshit. But they have these 200 rep sets, and then I believe after every exercise, you have 35 push-ups. And if you hit your knee during the push-up, if you take a break all the way down on the ground, it's another 35 push-ups. Something like that. Um, they got a hill outside. They do hill runs. It's all driven by this guy. They call him Unk. I have no idea what his his name is, but Unk controls everything over there. But at the end of the day, is it kind of necessary? I mean, I like the culture, right? The culture there, just get in. You're there to do hard work. That's why they have the hoodies and the sweats and the no jewelry because they don't want. You're there to do work, not to go look at yourself in the mirror. You know, after getting a nice massive pump with all those reps that you're doing. So, but what do you kind of think about that?
Right, I have two things. We'll get into the second one later, but I just started a book because I read too much for my own good. I just started a book called Do Hard Things. Have you heard of it? It's written by the same guy that wrote Peak Performance.
I don't read, Tatum. I should read more, but I don't read.
You can listen to audiobooks. I can send them to you.
Uh, you
I'll give you
know,
my Audible login.
you know, when I have time from school, work, clinical rotations, and just my other personal stuff that I got going on, I'll try.
Listen while you drive. I do that stuff on like 2.1 speed and turn it on in the car. Boom, boom, boom.
But
I could
see,
knock out
that's
an eight
what
hour audiobook in 4 hours.
that's what podcasts are for. Make sure you listen to us while you drive instead of books.
I know. Use us while you're in between books. There you go. But one of the book that I'm reading is called Do Hard Things, listening to whatever, it's the same thing. And he's talking a lot about the fact that like a lot of like your old school coaching and all of that you look at focuses on that like, oh, you want to make them tough, you do a ton of stuff, you use exercise as punishment, and how much there's actually like zero scientific backing on that, and there's a lot of scientific evidence of like the opposite. And it's not about like not putting people in the position to like have mental fortitude and to push through things and to do hard things, but there comes a point where it is like more counterproductive than productive. And oftentimes the like what can be like very like abusive coaching techniques and all of that will end up doing a lot more harm for the athlete. And Grant, I'm only 2 chapters in, so we can update on this. But his like full intro chapter was about the fact that like this view of like toughness and doing hard things that's like rooted in like machismo and pushing through pain is actually like very much counterproductive for athletes. That being said, coming from old Metro, like back in the day when CT was there, when Mike Rashid was there, when like Big Rob was there, like my Metro, it's a vibe. I think what I feel is a difference, and again, I've never seen the stuff that you're talking about, so I'm just speaking based off of your synopsis. Is that back in old Metro, like they would 100% push each other and all of that, but you weren't getting like punishments for needing a second to rest or drinking water. Like nothing like that. It was like a hey, we're all working together to perform our best. And of course, CT's famous for here's my F bomb of the episode. It's still your motherfucking set. And like that being the mindset behind it of like oh, you're tired, it's still your motherfucking set, and just everything that went along with that. But that was a lot more of like you're choosing to push yourself into doing something uncomfortable,
Mhm.
not so much as like you are afraid of what would happen if you do not do it. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. And I think, you talk about CT and like that culture, we're talking about Diamond Gym, it's definitely different than today's vibe. I mean, it seems like today's vibe, you have that one person and then another guy following a camera, following with this guy with a camera, you know, and then just like two friends that are meant to kind of be at a lower level than the guy that's the main person in the video. But I feel like with these other places, they are such a tight knit community because they don't just let anyone go in there and just work out with them. Maybe CT was a little bit different. I never really met the guy. That was before my time at Metro. Um, but the stories that I hear from his time are fantastic. I feel like I could just sit there for an entire day and just listen to him talk. Um, but it's definitely a different vibe. It's a different culture. These people are probably not training partners anymore. They're family. You know, it
Yeah.
it's this. Yeah, they're pushing each other to be the best version of themselves as they can, but with Diamond Gym, yeah, they don't want unnecessary talking. But if you're trying to motivate someone to like, hey, keep pushing through, like you got this, let's keep working. They do that stuff from the videos that I've seen. It's just the kind of like, oh, what's your favorite color, bro? That's the stuff where they're just like, I don't want to do that. So that's when you're gonna have them doing burpees or running up the hill. Oh, but yeah, but the
Solid. I like
yeah,
it. I love a hardcore facility. I think that we need more hardcore facilities and less like Alpha Land knockoffs. It's one of my biggest pet peeves in the modern fitness space is that there's a lot of beautiful gyms with beautiful equipment and everything is color coordinated and all of the machines are black and they have these shiny plates that have their gym emblem engraved on them. I can't do it, man. Give me some like actual iron. Give me machines that are chains or use iron plates that you're loading onto the bars. Like, make it a good place to train, not just some place to like take your aesthetic influencer videos. I understand that I was essentially a fitness influencer for a while, but I was never like a fitness influencer. Does that make sense?
Yeah. You weren't the typical, like, I'm gonna wear these shortest shorts that I can and then hike them up even more and then have every
No,
angle
I
pointing.
wore what I lifted in front of everybody. Like there was no. I tried to be very mindful of my angles. The only ones you ever see me taken like from behind were because I was doing like depth checks and stuff like that. Like I tried to be very cognizant of what I put out there because I have a huge issue with the over sexualization of especially women in the fitness industry. I think it does occur with men too, but significantly more. The over sexualization of women in the fitness industry is ridiculous. And I think that a lot of female fitness influencers play into it. Like the amount of them that have like OF links, that to me is just like, okay, you're not an athlete. You're a mattress actress, if you will, who just happens to record their workouts in the gym.
Yeah.
Like you can be in good shape and still not really know what you're doing. And I think there's a lot of influencers, both male and female, and anything in between, who essentially fall under that category of like, you look good enough and people will trust you because you can flex in the mirror, but that doesn't mean anything.
Yeah.
And when you
Like,
take away from like actual coaches, actual athletes, and
yeah.
you just want to be like this aesthetic influencer esque, I don't understand it. I've never been a fan of influencers like that. And I tried very hard to be subversive in that regard.
Mhm. If you purchased a camera that's more than your monthly rent to record yourself in the gym, you're probably doing it wrong.
I used a camera that was over 10 years old for any of my like if I was doing paid work and I needed to be higher quality. I got that camera hand me down, hand me down. It was like purchase used, handed got like my uncle gave it to my mom gave it to me, and like that's the camera that I used. I didn't buy a new one until a year ago, and it's like the Sony ZV-10 or whatever. Like it's one of the cheapest cameras you can get out there. It was like $200. It's
Yeah.
like, all right,
It,
that's my speed.
yeah. So it's just there's one person in particular that comes to my mind, and I'll tell you after. Yeah. I'll tell you after.
I
Okay.
love that.
Yeah. All right. So we're gonna roll into a little bit of a different topic. I'm just gonna.
It ends up following somewhat along the same line. This one's mine. So this next one is admittedly more of a my thing, because you were talking about the fact that they have to wear like sweatpants and hoodies and all of that, and that tangentially brought me on to I've been seeing a ton of content, mostly from female influencers. So we're just gonna keep. I'm not bagging on female influencers to be clear, as it just happens to be the most relevant group. I am a girl's girl, I promise. But here's my
And
thing. It's a bunch of female influencers being like, the day I decided to start dressing modestly in the gym is the day that, like, I felt like I started actually going for me, or was the day that, like, I stopped going for attention and started going. Yes, go ahead.
can you define modestly? Because, like, to me, that can mean so many different things as far as clothing.
Yeah, so that's like the thing. Modesty is a social construct. So, what is modest to these gym influencers? It's like some of them are just wearing like a full length shirt and leggings, and they're like, yeah, I'm dressing modestly. Some of them are like, no, you have to be in something oversized. How dare you see the form of your body? And then you get into like different religions have rules on modesty. Like, I've known and worked out with women who are like hijabi, and there are like strict rules on modesty and all of that, and like I can't speak to that in the slightest. I'm gonna be so for real. That's not my forte, not my area to speak on. But like there are different levels to it, and if you want to dress modestly, whatever your definition of that is for you, do your thing, and I support you entirely. This is not to hate on that in the slightest. But I will say that like the undertone of like you don't respect yourself if you're wearing shorts to the gym, or like oh, like you're just going for attention if you work out in shorts and a sports bra. And here's the thing, I know that some people take that to extremes. I know that there have been like OnlyFans creators who are filming in the gym, like in public spaces, doing some nasty stuff. Absolutely unacceptable. That should never happen. And I know that I've even worked at a gym where there was a girl who would wear legit underwear. Like, not bodybuilding, like competition bikini, anything like that. Like, legit just underwear. And we were all just like, I feel like there becomes like a hygiene issue when like your labia is showing, big dog. Like I that's
Hmm.
like that's too far for me personally, you know?
Yeah.
But I think that there's like a reasonable middle ground of like a hey, if all your bits and pieces are covered, do your thing, big dog. And like, yeah, some days I will work out in like a big oversized hoodie or an oversized t-shirt and like my big old sweatpants that I got from Iron Rebel back in the day. And like, that's perfect for me. And other days, I'm in a pair of spandex shorts and a sports bra because it's hot outside or because it's hot in the gym or because I'm doing like Olympic lifting work where you cannot wear big baggy sweatpants in Olympic lift. You just can't. It's just that's not how the sport works. You need a clear bar path. If you're getting caught on cargo pants, pockets, like that's not gonna be ideal for your lifting. And I think this weird obsession that I'm seeing like more and more people put out with like it's a judgment of like oh, how dare you wear what makes you feel comfortable or feel cute in the gym. I think this is ridiculous. What do you think?
Well, now that you're done with your rant, um, at the end of the day, do whatever makes you comfortable. Like, if some random person that I see just in passing by in the gym, just because we have the same membership to the same facility, like, why am I going to let what they're wearing ruin my day? That's kind of the mindset I get from it, you know? Because it's like, I have no idea the type of person they are. I have no idea the type of day that they're having. I have no idea if they run hot and have high blood pressure. I don't. And, some people just don't want to sweat. So they wear a little bit less clothing. Some people want to sweat a lot and they wear a lot of clothing. Don't get me wrong. I see a guy in sweatpants and a hoodie in the middle of July in this hot ass warehouse gym, and I'm just like, why? But then in the same breath, I'm like, you do you, big dog. If you, again, want to hide where you're looking or take it off, after you do one set or 10 sets of freaking exercise, I don't care, you know? But I do think that it needs to be appropriate first and foremost because you have no idea when someone is going to bring their kid, someone is going to bring, you know, someone into the gym that is not of age. You have to keep it appropriate in that regard
Keep
because
your
it's
bits covered. That's like really
yeah,
it.
yeah. I mean, I've also seen in the same breath, I've seen the guy literally walk around in boxer briefs. You know,
I knew a guy who used to lift in like legit just boxer briefs. He would just like
yeah,
take his pants off when he was in the gym and
I
he would
think
lift in
that's
them.
I think that's stupid. And the fact that, there are some people out there that do that and then post themselves, I think that's stupid because they're just trying to get a brand to recognize them, you know?
See, and here's my thing. He like didn't post anything. This was back in the day before people did that. It was just like what he was comfortable lifting in. And like the first few times I was like, that's a choice. That's like real out there. But after that I was like, all right, that guy doesn't like wearing pants. Okay. And I think that like there's an acclimation period. And this is where I do understand that the culture of the gym matters. Because you go to like Metroflex or like gym that has like a lot of bodybuilders and things like that, someone working out in competition trunks, especially back in the day, was not like a rare thing to see. Like it would happen, especially around when like comp season was, and whether it was because they like someone wasn't comfortable in their comp truck, so their coach made them like do a lift in them. Like, oh, you're going to get real comfortable. That's all you're allowed to wear right now. You're essentially working out in a Speedo. It is
Yeah.
what it is. And I was a child then, by all technicalities. Like, I was a high schooler. And I think that's part of what desensitized me to a lot of it. And it's like, hey, you're doing your thing. If I see you posing in your like little bikini, that makes sense. Yeah, that's a part of your sport. You're just practicing for your sport, just like I'm practicing for my sport. It just looks super different. But like essentially that is the same thing. Bits covered. Bits covered is the whole thing. Keep your bits covered. If it wouldn't be allowed with that little blur box on TV, cover it.
Yeah.
But I do think that the weird, and and maybe it's because I'm a woman, so like my feed is different. I have yet to see a single male fitness influencer share the same kind of sentiment of like oh, I stopped taking my shirt off at the gym to dress more modestly. Like no dude is doing that. And if there is, I haven't seen it. So like maybe there are some, but I can tell you it's probably not at the same numbers that we're seeing that being like put onto women, and I hate that.
Yeah.
Be comfortable in a gym. It is a space you should be comfortable in. It doesn't matter what body shape you're sitting in. I don't care. You want to work out in little shorts and a sports bra, bro? Same. That's generally what I'm wearing.
Yeah. Sorry, I don't have much. I've never really had to deal with stuff like this, you know? So,
Because you don't have people giving you subliminal messages on the internet to like cover your body. There was a whole thread with like a few thousand responses that I saw yesterday on threads that was like, girls, are you really wearing shorts to the gym? Like, aren't you worried about contacting skin diseases? And first of all, I do jujitsu. I'm always worried about contacting skin diseases. Thank you very much. It doesn't matter if I'm in shorts or not. Ringworm is real, staph is real, and I am terrified. But you come home and you shower. You use hot water. You use an actual antimicrobial soap, not just body wash that smells good, an actual antimicrobial soap. You scrub yourself with an actual washcloth. Like, there are things that you do, and it's no different if I'm in a gym in tiny little shorts and my legs are touching the equipment. If you have sensory issues and you don't want that, or it just feels icky to you, then don't do it. But don't be like, I cannot believe that girls do that. Why? Dudes wear shorts to the gym most of the time.
hoochie daddy shorts are always in, just saying.
Yes! Okay, here is my note to the men.
Oh,
Women, wear whatever makes you comfortable, but also dress sluttier. Men, dress sluttier. I don't care what you look like, I don't care what your build is. Short shorts, a little bit of midriff in like a good cutoff, not like a standard stringer, but like a good cutoff, boxy crop tee. Men should dress sluttier in the gym.
only if you have the butt and the legs to pull hoochie daddy shorts off. If you don't, stay away. Work your way up.
As someone who used to run cross country, I'm not gonna body shame anyone who wants to wear hoochie daddies. I'm just saying that it's okay to dress for your goal body, which should be some meaty legs. I think everyone should have meaty legs. I don't care what you're doing, and I understand it's not for everyone. Not everyone wants meaty legs. Not every sport it's good to build meaty legs, but I firmly believe all people should have meaty legs. I have a
Well,
vision right now of the legs that.
I am going to body shame people. Men do more legs, women do more upper body. That's all I'm gonna say.
You
So
see these traps, dog? See these delts? I'm keeping the rest of my arms covered because I don't have biceps.
yeah, exactly. Um, but all right,
Hey, I fight people. Leave me alone.
cool, great. Top three.
You
Moving into top three. We we got a pretty fun one today, I think. And, we're gonna do the typical. I'll say my third, you say your third. Okay.
10-4. Go ahead.
Okay. top three most satisfying sounds in the gym. Okay, I'll start with my third. Cracking open a fresh energy drink.
Oh,
Just
oh,
the
oh,
and
oh,
then
that's a good
sometimes if
noise.
you're lucky, because the fridge is so cold, you get the little smoke that comes out of it. Ooh.
Oh, or when you're opening up one of the one of these bad boys,
And
you
just
pop
the
that top and just,
yeah.
oh, some good stuff.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Just
How about
nothing
Monster
better.
Collect? That's a
All right.
good one. That's a really good one. Number
What's your third?
three,
Yeah.
I'm going with like a really solid back slap. Like someone's holding your belt and pulling you into them while they smack you, and like the entire gym can hear it. Like a really good back slap.
Yeah. As someone who often asks you for for back slaps, yeah. Like you even given me some where I'm just like, oh, that one just hit different. Yeah, let's go.
It's the best, and you can hear it. It's like that good one. Oh, it's like that perfect high five.
Mm-hmm.
Good
Mm-hmm.
stuff.
All right. Number number two, and I think this one it is going to be a little controversial, you know, but I like my number one better than this one. It's the little
Okay.
clinking of the iron plates as you're pulling on a deadlift.
It's a good one.
Yeah, yeah. Just
That is
the
a good
little,
one.
and especially with like the more weights that you have, and then just dropping a bar full of metal plates. You know, I think there's no better sound than
Yeah.
that. That that's part of the reason why I kind of like. That's the only reason why I don't like lifting with bumpers is because you don't get that sound.
Mm. See, my two is similar. It's along the same vein, but it's weightlifting specific. Right when the bar hits that like transition from second to third pull, like into your extension, there's just
Mhm.
this like noise that like if you've listened and been in a silent room with Olympic weightlifters, you hear it when it just hits right, and you can tell from that noise that that is going to be a perfectly executed lift. There's just like something so about it, and it's small and it's quiet and it is pristine and it is beautiful. That sound, that would be my number one, if not for my number one being what it is, because there is very little in this life that comes and like comes close to that sound.
Mhm. All right, my number one. We might have the same number one. I don't know. I don't know.
Right.
My number one is the foot slap in a perfectly timed split jerk. It's the whole, it's that hard slap that like when you're recording yourself and you hear it and you're like, oh, oh, that was satisfying. That's my number
That is
one,
a
but it's
really
more that that's kind of more personal to me, which I guess it does fit because we're giving our own top three. Um, but there's nothing better, especially when I go back and watch the video and I hear the slap of my feet in the mat. Um, I'm like, ooh, that was good.
That's good stuff. Especially like lifters. You've never lifted in wooden heeled lifters.
No.
You get wooden heeled lifters on a wood platform and time that just oh, it's like biting into a crisp apple. It is just a fantastic sound. All
Hmm.
right, my number one is not the same as yours.
Okay.
If you've ever lifted in like a pretty much silent gym and then someone hits something, and usually there's not like a lot of hype to it before, like people around them just kind of know that they're like going for something big for them, and they go and they're pulling a lot of weight or they squatting a lot of weight or whatever it is, and they hit it and everyone just like erupts Like it goes from like dead silent of everyone watching. It happens at like meets and stuff too, but my favorite is when it's just like on a random training day and it just goes from quiet to like everyone celebrating. That's my favorite. Like
Hmm.
by far just my favorite sound.
Hmm. I can't relate. I never do anything impressive in training for people to do that for me. But I have had that happen on the competition floor, and it is great because the only time that happened was at the LA Fit Expo.
I
So,
know. I was thinking that one pull at the LA Fit Expo when it was just, oh,
yeah, I
that was
have
good
like,
stuff.
I have three different angles of that lift, and just watching the people's reactions in the background is great. There's like these two girls, I have no idea who they are, over in the corner, and then she just goes to her friend and just jaw is on the floor, just like, oh my god, he just did that. Yeah, that's a good number one. That's a good number one. But oh, all
That's
right. It's time for the outro. We're both sleepy bitches. All right. It's sleepy time. Yeah, we're both sleepy bitches. You know, just a little bit of a shorter one today. Yeah, a little bit of a shorter one, but we will hopefully be back next week if we could get our shit together and get our schedules aligned. But, be sure to like, subscribe, follow us on all social medias between Two Barbells PC on Instagram, YouTube, Spotify. Are we on X or Twitter yet?
TikTok.
And TikTok.
No,
We
I
should
don't believe
also
in Twitter.
we should look into. Okay, so you still call it Twitter.
Yeah, I still call it Twitter, but I don't believe in Twitter.
Okay, we should get a Twitter.
You are welcome to make a Twitter for us.
But I don't think
I'm
you
not
want to
doing
give
it.
me
I
that.
won't.
I don't think you want to give me that power. But all
I
right.
will consider making us a Threads account so we can cross post, but no, I'm not doing that.
But all right, we'll get back to you on this. TBD. But all right. With that, peace. We're out.
Peace up. A town.